you. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Actionables podcast. In case we haven't met before, my name is Payden. If you're a returning viewer or listener, thank you so much for tuning back in. Today, I get to sit down and talk with somebody who is a renowned Ayurvedic doctor as well as educator. He's currently serving as the assistant professor at SDM College of Ayurveda, Hassan, Karnataka, and he's also pursuing his PhD. He has received several prestigious awards for his work, and today I get to sit down and have him share his knowledge about the importance of Ayurveda and the best practices that you can apply in your life. Let's jump into this fascinating conversation with the incredible and inspiring Dr. Sharad Kumar M. Let's jump into this conversation. Hello, Dr. Sharad. Thank you for being on Actionables. It's good to have you here. It is an honor to sit down and talk to you today.
Namaste from my side. Thank you for the opportunity. So I'm excited to share my knowledge, whatever I have understood about Ayurveda and life. So yes, we can go ahead.
I would like to start off this episode by asking you, for somebody who doesn't understand the origin of where Ayurveda came about, if you can talk to us about that.
So definitely, as you asked regarding the origin of Ayurveda, there are multiple opinions from historians. So some dates it back to nearly 5,000 to 6,000 years old. But what we have seen in the Shastra is, so Ayurveda is not created by someone. So Ayurveda is something which is existing forever. So we term it as Anadi. The word Anadi means which is not having a beginning, and it will persist forever. That means which is Ananta. So Ayurveda is something which is Anadi and Ananta, which is not having any beginning and which is not going to end. So then who created is the question you might be getting in your mind. So in our Shastras, they mentioned it as Brahma Smrutva Ayusho Vedam. That means Brahma has remembered Ayurveda. That refers, the word remember refers, it exists before only. Just Brahma has realized it. And from Brahma, he has taught the concepts and logics of Ayurveda to Daksha Prajapati. From Daksha Prajapati, we have Ashwini Devatas. They have gained the knowledge, and from then, Lord Indra, what we refer in all our Purana stories. So they have got this, and till here we call it as Daiva Parampara. Means till this, all the knowledge was passed down till Indra. Later in the earth, when people started living together in the form of society and communities, then originates so many other diseases, which creates the need of getting some solutions for the diseases. Then all the sages of that time, in Charaka Samhita, they have mentioned all the names of the sages. Nearly 60 sages have gathered in Himalaya, and they had something kind of summit, and they have selected Bharadwaja, and they have elected Bharadwaja to go near Indra and to get the solution. And when Bharadwaja will reach out to the Lord Indra, he gets all the knowledge of Ayurveda in the form of Trisutra, we say. So here Trisutra is not the complete knowledge of Ayurveda, but that is the baseline through which whole Ayurveda can be developed. So Lord Indra has given this concept of Trisutra to Bharadwaja, and from Bharadwaja, so many other sages have learnt in the earth, and they themselves developed the Ayurveda in their own way. So just with a format, they started developing, and while developing the Ayurveda, they have proven these things by doing lot of experiments. So I refer these sages to the current day scientists. So all our sages were kind of scientific thoughts. They were having scientific thoughts, and what they have done is they have done lot of experiments, and they have tried it, they have experimented it, and they have tried to prove it logically to the whole community at that time. And then after that, they have given the conclusions, and these conclusions are called as Siddhanta. So nobody should think that Ayurveda is unscientific, because the definition itself has been given in such a way that you should experiment, you should prove it logically, then you have to conclude. So this is what on basis whole Ayurveda has been done, and we get other sampradaya, means different parampara we have, like Punarvasu Atreya has developed for general medicine, and we have Dhanvantari Sampradaya regarding the surgery. So till then, all the knowledge was passed down to the next person orally. So they used to just guide everything orally, and they used to grasp. For the first time, Agnivesha Tantra has been written. So Punarvasu Atreya had 6 disciples, and each of them have documented to the area of interest they had. So Today, Charaka Samhita is a popular text for Ayurveda, which everybody prays and everybody refers to know about Ayurveda. So, this Charaka Samhita was originally written by Agnivesha, and this is the first documented evidence of Ayurveda. But some of the parts were missing, so that was added by Charaka, and later that book was popularized as Charaka Samhita. Still, some many portions were missing throughout the history. Then Drudabala is one of the person who has completed the current day Charaka Samhita. So we have to thank our ancestors for such a scientific healthcare system, what they have developed with lot of experiments. And Ayurveda is not just an medical science. This is a science, philosophy, as well as kind of religion for us who are practicing these things. So hope this is the basics of origin of Ayurveda. So currently, then later with the social developments in the history, so many changes were there, so many modifications were there. And yes, today also Ayurveda is accepting the new changes, but the principles are same. The principles what our acharyas have laid down are never going to change. Yes, this is all about origin of Ayurveda.
Thank you for giving us the background about where Ayurveda comes from. I want to ask you this question. A lot of people might think of Ayurveda as something that they don't understand, and up till now, maybe they don't even know the origin of it. I certainly didn't know that there are so many branches and how it was passed down by our ancient sages. So, could you talk about, even though this is a scientific knowledge and a powerhouse, why is the popularity of Ayurveda still today upcoming? It is not something that is very known to the modern world. So you talk about where is this gap in terms of the popularity?
When the thoughts of Ayurveda were developed, priority was to give the complete results, not only the quick result. So today we might see that other contemporary sciences which are originated just 400 to 500 years back, I don't want to name them, but all those contemporary sciences are running behind the quick relief. So it is all about the mindset. Ayurveda believes in Shuddha Chikitsa. The word Shuddha means pure, means if I am treating a patient, he should not get the disease again. And my priorities are to educate him and to make him understand all these things in such a way that he should not suffer with the same disease again. So when the priority laid down by Ayurveda is like this, and this has been survived since thousands of years. So if you see the whole India, so allopathy was just born 400, 500 years ago. But till then, people have lived happily, and there are references that people have lived nearly 200 years. The sages were lived 200 years, and this is all because of the Ayurveda. So the fundamental principle of Ayurveda guides you on this rather than the quick relief. Yes, there are so many things developed later which are giving quick relief. Till today, they are in practice. But what happened is with the advent of British rule in India, so they have made it in such a way that modern science is very good, and they have played with the mind of Indians that the priority was changed. The priority was to give quick relief rather than the accurate relief. So there is a kind of difference. So that's why people's mindset has changed over the time. And one more thing is, whatever is documented in Ayurveda are the conclusions. But we don't know how they have come to such conclusions, because if they go on documenting all the experiments and all these things, then the Shastras will become very much vast. So it was not possible. They have documented the conclusions, but all these conclusions drawn by our sages are till today true, and they are practiced and in practice. Yes, as you have asked why it is not quite popular among people, is because people have changed their lifestyle. If you just observe since 30 years, there is a drastic change in the lifestyle trend. So 5 years back, some of the food habits were not in our culture, but so many food have been incorporated from other cultures. So if you just observe the trend, so now change is the trend. So all the changes are taking place very quickly, which makes the priorities changed. So what happened is Ayurveda is definitely having ultimate results for so many things, but not at the cost of leaving the principles. So we should follow the principles, because principles are always true. So yes, these days the changes is seen in the society. After COVID, if you remember, many people started knowing what Ayurveda is. And the beauty
Yes.
of our sages is they have merged this science with the religion. See, Hindu religion, what we follow in India, is most scientific because all the scientific thoughts are merged in the religion. And if you see the way we celebrate all our festivals in India, this is all linked with scientific thoughts. So whatever food habits we are consuming, that is very good at that time. At that season, it is very good for the body. So such a scientific things they have conglomerated with the religion, and that is the beauty you can see only in India. Nowhere any other religion is as scientific as Indian religions. So the Indian origin religions, because science and religion has been merged here, and you can see the outcome of that. So without knowing that this is Ayurveda, many people are following Ayurveda. If you go to village, till now you can see that people are waking up at 5:30, and before the sunrise they are waking out, but they have not studied anything in the college or the schools, but that has been part of their culture because our sages have merged this science into the religion. But now what happened is, because of advent of other religions, modern science, and so many things, Indians started hating their own culture. So there was a time when they started feeling inferior about our own culture. So if you see, I'll just have to give an example here. So in India, there is a culture of brushing the teeth with charcoal, with salt, and with neem twig they used to use for brushing the teeth, which is a natural one and which has a good outcome there. But when these Britishers came, started feeling us that, making us feel that these things are inferior, and they introduced the toothpaste. But now after 50, 60 years, and now you can see all these ingredients are the parts of the toothpaste, what they are promoting. Now salt is there in the toothpaste, neem is there in the toothpaste, and charcoal activated toothpastes are available. So this is just an example that how they made us feel inferior about our own science and culture, and that has been taken away from Indians. And luckily, God has given another chance with the COVID, where people started realizing that our culture is better, our culture is scientific, and with this advent, you can see in another 20, 30 years, Ayurveda will reach its peak, and I can assure that this becomes the first priority treatment in India.
So, Dr. Sharad, you mentioned that there is a lot of influence from the modern world on us Indians. Like you just mentioned, that we were made to feel inferior about things that were naturally in our tradition. So, could you talk about what do you think people who are unaware or have little knowledge of Ayurveda today, how do they start some of the practices? What could they start doing effectively and practically today to go back to the roots or to start practicing Ayurveda?
Very good question. I must thank you for asking this question, because what people have to do now is, first they have to understand some basic concepts that we are all not same. What modern science has created is,
Right.
they have generalized everyone. They say that everybody should do the same thing, but Ayurveda never say that, because it gives priority to the individual, and that is the main principle of Ayurveda, and we name it as Purusham Viksha. Whenever I see patients, if two patients comes with same disease, it's not mandatory that my medicines will be same, because we are not treating the disease, we are treating the patient. There is a difference. So
Right.
same disease might occur with different causative factors in different people. So as you have asked about the practices, how they can start with Ayurveda is, first they should understand that they are not same as others, and they need not to plan their lifestyle comparing with others.
Right.
So once they understand that I am totally different person than others, then he has to start analyzing about himself. That's what we suggest for all patients. First, start analyzing about yourself. You start experimenting with your body. So this might sound very weird for you, but we can start experimenting with our own body. What happens if I eat early in the morning? What happens if I eat only during when I am feeling hungry? So when should I drink water? If people get these questions and experiment with their own body, they will get answer for all these things. So when people understand the right things without comparing and copying others, because in India, you can see, I'll give one example. People have started a habit of drinking water soon they wake up from the bed. Okay. Now, what it is mentioned in Shastra and classics is totally different than what they are following. What Shastra has mentioned is, when you wake up early in the morning before the sunrise, and if you drink water, that will be useful for the body. What people have understood this is a totally different thing. People started thinking that once you wake up in the morning, you have to drink the water. And now they are waking up at 7:30, they are waking up at 8 o'clock. And if they are drinking water, that has a totally different effect on the body than what if they could have consumed in the early morning. So now people need to understand the difference that once I am born, whatever is around me has an influence on me. And we refer to Kala. Kala means the time, the environmental factor, the place where I live, everything has an impact on me. I can give n number of examples for this. If you go to Rajasthan, you might have known that that's a place in India where there's excess of heat, there's a lot of temperature there. And if you observe there, the wind which is available there is excess of dry. So now to maintain the moistureness in the body, people have understood that those who ever live in the area where there is excess of dryness in the air should drink or should eat something which is opposite of dryness. That is unctuousness, what we say. That is example ghee. If you go to Rajasthan, people have this habit of eating excess of ghee. So they will apply ghee over all the food items. They will consume in large quantity because it is the need in that place. And if you copy this protocol, what they are following in other country where the air is not dry, then that has a different effect. So now what I'm trying to convey is the place where you live has an influence on your body. The food what you consume has an influence on your body. The activities you perform has an influence on your body, and the time at when you are doing the activities also has an influence on your body. So when you understand that how that is influencing my body, along with that there is another great factor, that is our mindset. If everything is also influencing, even our mindset affects our body. I always tell to my students, body and mind are like lovers. Okay, if one person is feeling happy, another person also will feel happy. That's what lovers share, right? If one is sad, another will be sad. So the same principle applies with the body and mind. If body is not healthy, you just observe, when hair started falling, the mind starts feeling very sad that I am getting bald, right? When you comb your hairs and you get bunch of hairs, then you start suddenly feeling sad about it. Instead, if you are very sad because of some stress, if somebody has insulted you, that feeling inside will also affect the body. You can reflect that in your face. When your mind is not happy, your body also will be not happy. So even mindset has influence on the body. So now what people have to do is, first they should understand all these concepts, and when they are convinced with this, then they can plan their lifestyle. And the lifestyle practices are very simple. They should get up early before the sunrise, and when they wake up, after brushing their teeth, they can consume little water to initiate the bowel habits. And soon after waking up, they should analyze their bowel habits, and that bowel habits give a lot of information that how your body is functioning inside. So the consistency of your bowel habits also will have an impact on this. So you should observe all these things, and then you have to plan everything. Then you have to do some exercise in the morning to reduce the excess of water content present in the body. We have to sweat out in the morning, and after that you have to consume breakfast when you feel hungry. So nowadays people are like, now it is 8 o'clock, this is breakfast time, I will have it. So without having the feeling of hunger, one should not consume the food. And this kind of small principles have a larger effect on the health. And after that they should do something to involve their mind. If you don't involve mind in some of the activities, then gradually you will start getting negative thoughts. So then again, when you feel hungry in the afternoon, you should consume the meals. Actually, Ayurveda believes in only two meals, the concept of two meals. Like once when the sun is very hot, that is in the like nearly 8 to 9 o'clock, and if you feel hungry, you should consume. Again, before sunrise, you can consume the meals. This is what Ayurveda believes, only two meals. Now we have made the habit of having for four times. So these all things have contributed for reducing the lifespan. So again, in the evening hours doing exercise and gym is not a good thing compared to morning. You can do exercise in the morning, that has a different effect. And if you perform the same exercise in the evening, then you will get tired very quickly compared to morning. So because morning it is required, but evening it is not required. So like that, and even the sleep, I really give a lot of priority to sleep. Sleep is like superpower. So if you sleep properly, then your body can function properly, your mind can function properly. And generally people think that sleeping is something related to body, but Ayurveda believes sleeping is not related to body, it is related to body as well as mind. If you are stressed in your mind, you can't sleep. So before sleeping, you should feel happy about your life. You should be thinking positives about your life. Then only you can sleep in a nice way. And each of these things has a lot of inputs to say, but these are what I can say at this short span of time, that each and everything you do has an impact on your body. So before performing anything, please analyze how this is going to affect my health. After that only we should be thinking about so many things. But Ayurveda has given such a good lifestyle, and not following this lifestyle properly is the main cause for the diseases. If you want to treat the diseases, you should understand the lifestyle of the patients. So if you don't understand the lifestyle of patient, you can't give the complete results. So whoever comes to me as a patient, first we will be assessing their whole lifestyle. So from the time they wake up till the time they sleep, whatever activities, whatever food habits they are consuming, and we'll ask about their mind. After asking all these things, first we will identify the cause of the disease, then only we go for treating it. So this is the beauty of Ayurveda, and we call this as Nidana Parivarjana. These are the some of small principles which one can understand and follow.
So, Dr. Sharad, I want to go back to what you mentioned about one treatment does not apply to every person. Every person's protocol is going to be different when it comes to, say, preventive diseases or to maintain healthy lifestyle. So, talk to me about when somebody comes to you, say for a consultation as an Ayurvedic consultation, how does that process look like? So, somebody, let's say, is overweight, wants to reduce weight, or somebody who has, let's say, gut issues. What does that consultation look like when somebody comes for a Ayurveda consultation?
This is a great question what you have asked. You have referred to the obesity case. So the treatment protocols differ because the cause of obesity for people is totally different. For example, you can see a female who has obesity because of thyroid.
Right.
You can have someone who is having obesity because of wrong eating. Some might be having obesity by genetics. Some might be having obesity because of having excess
Right.
of food and untimely food. So now, as a Ayurveda person, without analyzing this, if I directly treat him with some of the treatment protocols, he might get results for a short span of time. And if I am not going to educate him that what is the cause of your disease, then he is likely to follow all the things, all the wrong things, what has caused the disease. For this, I have given an example. I always tell to all my patients, imagine you are traveling in a boat and suddenly there is a hole and water started coming in. Now you have options either to throw out the water using some bucket, or you can do something to close the hole. So what you will be like, what you would be doing?
If you're asking me,
Yes,
you'd
yes.
rather block the hole.
Yeah. You said as you want to block the hole so that the problem has a permanent solution. So that's
Yes.
what Ayurveda believes in. Ayurveda want to give permanent solution for everything. So suppose if you're not blocking the hole, then the water is coming and throwing water will be merely a tedious job, which is not a
Right.
permanent solution. In the same way, Ayurveda believes in Nidana Parivarjana, where we are identifying the cause of the disease and we want to stop the cause of the disease. So our treatment depends not only on the symptoms what they have, it also depends on the causative factors which has given the disease to them. So that's why the protocols will be changing. So might be Panchakarma treatment what we follow will be same, but the medicines what we select for doing Panchakarma will be changed. The diet protocols will be changed. So all these things are changed. This is the reason because of which we have all these differences. So each patient is a different one, even though they have the same disease.
So, Dr. Sharad, I want to just quickly talk about a little bit about the practices, like you mentioned, for somebody who's, say, waking up late, 7:30, 8 o'clock after the sun is well out. Their conditions are going to be radically different than, let's say, somebody who wakes up early, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So, can you draw a contrast between somebody who's waking up early and somebody who's waking up well after the sun is out? How does that affect their stress levels?
As you're asking about the waking up time, to say about particularly about this. So if you wake up early, then you can plan everything very wisely for the whole day. And if you're waking up late, then you have all chances that you can ruin your whole day schedule. This is
Right.
one thing which is superficially everybody can understand. But what happens is, if you wake up late after the sunrise, then gradually you will be having what kind of laziness. So we have this concept of vata pitta kapha in Ayurveda. If the kapha increases in the body and if the digestion is also hampered, then it produces some toxic content called as ama in the body. So this ama, if prevails for a longer duration in the body, will start making this whole system into lethargic. Means you start feeling like laziness over the day. You will be losing interest in doing things. So you won't be knowing the reason that because of your lifestyle only you have got the diseases. So if you consult any contemporary science doctor, they might not be sharing all these things. They are not discussing about the cause of the disease. But if you come to Ayurveda, that's where we prioritize, because if he can't change this whole lifestyle, then definitely he's going to suffer again and again. So as you said, an example who wakes up early and who wakes up late, so totally the body system becomes a different thing. So you have to observe all these things, and then only you can plan everything.
Yes, but Dr. Sharad, talk to me about somebody who goes to sleep late, maybe because of their work, maybe because of their schedule. So, would you say that Ayurveda suggests that we wake up early? But if somebody is not able to because of their work life or because of their lifestyle already in place, because of their habit of sleeping late, or if they say, I can't fall asleep at 9 o'clock, what is the best suggestion you can give to that person? Is there something that that person can do?
Yes, definitely. For this, we have to thank our acharyas. Maybe they were so visionary that they knew that people can't follow whatever we are telling. So they knew that people can't follow all the lifestyle, and definitely there will be some of the changes in the body. So they have planned and given us the concept of Panchakarma. So Panchakarma is such a thing which you have to undergo. So these are five different treatments, and each treatment has a different time zone when you have to practice this. Following this, all the toxins which are present in the body will be expelled out of the body. So if you are not able to follow all these things, then please undergo this treatment once in a year. So we have different treatments like Vamana, that is to reduce the vitiated kapha dosha in the body, and we have
Right.
something called Virechana, that is to remove the vitiated pitta in the body. And we have now, this is rainy season, so
Right.
vata kind is the dosha which will be excess in the body, and to remove that and expel out of the body, we have a treatment called basti. Now that is practiced widely in the Western countries as enema. So that is the basic concepts given by our Ayurveda acharyas, and that has lot of benefits for the body. So if somebody has not followed the whole lifestyle and has developed some disease, and by default there will be kind of vitiated dosha or toxins in the body, and this can be expelled. And that is the contribution of Ayurveda for somebody who is not able to follow. And definitely if he is not following, the doshas will vitiate, and yes, they can undergo Panchakarma as a solution. And at least if they can take these treatments once in a year, we can guarantee that they will be healthy without even following. But what we prefer is, one or the other day they will definitely suffer if they are not following the proper lifestyle. So it is good to follow lifestyle along with the treatments.
I want to now talk about what you mentioned earlier about meal times. It's very interesting that how you said in today's day and age, people are eating 4 times, where it is suggested in Ayurveda two meals. So, could you talk a little more about what are the best times to eat or some good practices that Ayurveda suggests around meal times?
So regarding meal times, so first thing is we should analyze, are we hungry or simply we are eating because we are following a protocol. Okay. This is the first thing we should observe. Or without having the feeling of hunger, we should not consume the food, is what Ayurveda believes. So
Right.
regarding the meal times, this is all related with the circadian rhythm, what we say. This concept you might have heard. So that concept is again influenced by the concepts of dosha in Ayurveda. If you divide the whole 24 hours into two zone, day and night. So again, if you divide the whole 12 hours of the day, you can divide it into three zone, like 4 hours, more first hour, like first 4 hours, middle 4 hours, and the last 4 hours. So the
Right.
first 4 hours will be dominant of kapha dosha. The middle portion, middle 4 hours will be dominant of pitta dosha, and the last 4 hours will be dominant of Vata dosha. So what Ayurveda believes is in these three different zones, these three doshas has influence on the Agni. Agni is kind of digestive fire, what we say in English, is the reason for digesting whatever we have consumed. So regarding the current practice, what I want to say is people are consuming more than what is needed. So if your job is to sit on a table and work for 8 hours, then you're not involving physically. So somebody if he is working in the field, he require more nourishment compared to somebody who is sitting on the table and working, right? So our food habits should be as per the even professions what we are doing and as per the need. If it is not required and you are giving excessively, whatever nourishment or the nutrients produces out of that will be retaining in the body, and that will be excess. That you can understand with the disease of diabetes. What's happening there? People are consuming and following the lifestyle which is increasing all the nutrients which is not required. And the main reason is people are consuming good food and good nutrient food, but then they are not following any exercises. They're not doing any exercises to utilize the energy produced by the food. That's why Ayurveda given the concept of 2 meals, and the first meal should be during the initiation of the Pitta Kala. Okay, as I said, the after early morning 4 hours when the Pitta Kala starts, and if you observe, the sun will be also very proficient at that time. So that is the right time to consume breakfast, and you can consume a heavy breakfast. So again, you should if you consume heavy breakfast, you will not feel hungry early. So again, before the sunset. So if suppose sunset is about at 6 o'clock, then you can consume before that, 1 hour before that, if you consume food, and whole night that will be under the process of digestion, and it will get digested properly, and the nutrients what is produced also will be utilized by the body in a proper way. That's why Ayurveda has suggested 2 meals, and this practice has been removed from the society now. Only in some villages, I have noticed that some old people are following this 2 meal concept, and some of the religious people are also following these things. But common man, they are consuming food in a totally wrong way. So when when we believe that you should consume before the sunset, many people are consuming at late night. So night 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, they will be consuming. And the wrong thing what they are doing is they are consuming heavy meals in the night, which is a very bad thing as per Ayurveda. And the whole digestion process takes a lot of time for digestion and all these things. So yes, we should understand what is the need of food I have to consume and what are the times when I should consume. If people analyze this, then they can stay healthy without any diseases, and they should understand that if they have consumed heavy food, they should involve themselves into some activity where whatever energy is produced by that should be utilized by the body. If you are not utilizing, that will retain in the body, and particular tissues in the body will be excess. Suppose in obesity, what we believe is medas. So adipose tissue, what we say, is increasing because it is getting that much nourishment. It is increasing. If some that
Right.
person is doing person having obesity starts doing exercises, that will automatically reduce. So yes,
Right.
this is all about the meal timings as you have asked.
So, Dr. Sharad, talk to me about what is the role of fasting? What is this concept, this modern concept of intermittent fasting that has become such a norm in the modern society? Everybody talks about intermittent fasting. So, does Ayurveda talk about fasting and what is the role of fasting?
As you know, a Nobel Prize was given for this concept of fasting. It was nothing but a part of our culture. If you see the culture in India, for so many religious purposes, and once in a week, many are following the fasting, and once in a month for Ekadashi also, they have this habit of following the fasting and all. Yes, so Ayurveda believes in this, and the whole purpose is to utilize whatever has been produced in the body in a right way. When you do fasting, it has lot of benefits, and it is also related with the mindset. You can't be skipping the meal and calling it as fasting. There is a difference. People feel
Right.
that they have skipped the meal and they think that this is fasting. No, that has a different thing. Fasting comes with your mindset also. So you should have that mindset to fast. Then yes, that has a lot of benefits, as it has been also proven by the Nobel laureate with the concept of autophagy that has impact. And what happens when you do this fasting is the whole body gets kind of rest, the whole digestive system kind of get rest, and you will feel lighter. Whatever the excess things available in the body will be utilized. So fasting again should be done properly. If you don't understand your body needs and if you do fasting, that has again adverse effect. So yes, this is a good practice and it is accepted by Ayurveda.
Next, I want to ask you, Dr. Sharad, what is the role of Ayurveda with regard to supplements? Because today, in age, you hear a lot of people say, take this supplement for this, take this supplement for that. So, could you talk about how does Ayurveda weigh in when we have to take, let's say, X supplements?
Regarding supplements, this concept is not like there is a little correction needed for this concept. So people without understanding their digestive capacity are behind taking supplements. So we have concepts called rasayana, where it is to nourish all the tissues in the body. So you can consume rasayana for getting the optimum health, but before consuming the rasayana you should also have a proper lifestyle, and your digestive fire, what we refer as Agni, should be good,
Right.
so that whatever you have consumed should digest properly. So what people doing right now is they don't understand their digestive capacity. They don't know whether it is required for them or not. And they will be doing some of the professions which doesn't require so much of supplements. So you
Right.
can see more majorly these supplements are provided in the form of proteins and so many things for those who are regularly doing the gym. For consuming so much of supplements, if you are utilizing the energy produced by it, yes, it has a benefit. And when you do exercise, your digestive fire also work very nicely. So these are all connected. So first we should think whether it is required or not. Just because somebody is consuming supplements doesn't mean that even I also require the supplements. So yes, we can consume the supplements only by analyzing properly whether it is required or not. And yes, Ayurveda has some concepts, and we use these supplements even to treat the diseases, as we call it as rasayana. So you might have heard about Chavanprash rasayana.
Yes.
It's a very
Yes.
popular among Ayurveda and among the common public also. But what wrong people doing with it is they are consuming without analyzing their lifestyle. If you don't follow a proper lifestyle, even the supplements won't be giving the desired benefits for your body and mind. So what supplements we get in Ayurveda is having different rules. We have a number of supplements. I won't name them as that has to be given to the people by analyzing them.
How different would you say? Obviously, the body of a man and a woman are different. So, would you say that Ayurveda's role in treating a female patient and a man patient will also be varied?
So the treatment protocols, what they have mentioned is same for both males and females, but the complaints what we get for male and female is totally different. But the
Right.
treatment protocols like Panchakarma is same for both of them. Some of the things we have to keep in mind before treating regarding the menstruation period. So we are not treating the women's during their, we are not giving the Panchakarma treatment during their
Right.
menstruation time. So these things are there. Other than that, the current diseases what is prevalent among the women and the girls, so we have a great results compared to all the contemporary sciences. So why they are getting those diseases is again because of the lifestyle what they are following, and Ayurveda can treat all the cases like PCOD, thyroid disorders, all these things, PCOS, everything in a very nice way. So many women are getting treated through Ayurveda for all these complaints. So yes, the treatment protocols are same, but the way we understand and the way we practice is kind of different for both of them.
So, Dr. Shahid, we covered a lot of ground regarding Ayurveda. I want to wrap this conversation up with one final question as to you spoke about a lot of good practices that we can do that we have learned from Ayurveda. What, in your opinion, is that one best practice, one small thing that somebody can start doing today to use Ayurveda as a preventive step? Rather than once the disease has come into the body, once it has manifested, because it becomes so much more difficult to treat it. So, what is that one step or a very simple practice that somebody can use Ayurveda as a preventive tool rather than taking medicine for it?
Okay, sure. So there are actually so a number of practices which I can quote, but as you have asked for one, what I say, please understand that as our whole life is made up of four components, that is Sharira, Indriya, Manas, and Atma, we say. This is the combination we refer as Ayu. So the physical body, the mind, the sense organs, and the soul, what we say. So these four together makes the life. So you have to cater for all the four to be healthy. If you work it only for the body And if you're not thinking about mind, then you can't be called as healthy. And now,
Right.
what I want to say to people is to safeguard their sense organs. So, this I want to highlight the practices what you have asked. People have neglected these sense organs. So, your life has no meaning if you lose these sense organs. Have you ever
Right.
tried to imagine how your life would be without these sense organs? Imagine yourself that if you don't have eyes, how your life would be. And if you can't smell, if you can't taste, and if you can't hear, and if you can't even feel the touch sensation, then there's no meaning for your life. You can't get in touch with the outer world. So this one has to understand. Now we both are interacting because we have sense organs. Just imagine if any one of us wouldn't have been this sense organs, we couldn't be talking now. So with sense organs, we are in touch with the outer world. So if somebody is not having any sense organs, he can't connect with the outer world, right? So
Right.
Ayurveda prioritizes lot for sense organs, for mind, and for body. So whatever practices are there has impact on all these three. So if you do exercise, it has an impact for body as well as mind as well as sense organs.
Right.
So we have to protect sense organs because we are these days using excess of mobile. So excess of mobile we are using, and we are losing the eye power. So these days people are using high sounds to hear, and that is also reducing the power of the ears. This has to be checked at the earliest, because what made me feel bad is the kids with the age 4 and 5 are wearing the spectacles. So imagine that we have contributed such diseases to the next generation. So it is because of not following. If we don't follow right lifestyle, the next generation what we produce will be also having the same complaints.
Right.
So if we have to check this, we have to follow lifestyle. And yes, there is no one point which can contribute for the whole health. As you have asked, he has to follow all the points, then only he can get the optimum health what we are desiring. And these days people are stressed, they are unnecessarily involving in the things. Ayurveda says vishayeshu asakta, means one should not involve in the things which is not required. So people are involved into unnecessary things. So this is also one of the cause for creating stress. So one need to understand that they should do something to keep their stress levels down. And for this, they can practice good food. Even food has an impact on the mind. So yes, all these are connected. The physical body, the mind, and the sense organs, and all this will be healthy when you have good soul. So you should be doing some good charitable things, which will also contribute for the health. You can be happy when you make people happy. This is what we believe. So just doing things for our own selfishness will be not enough to cover ourselves as happy. That's why Ayurveda has different levels of health. Like there is a concept called Sukhayu and Hitayu. Hitayu is social well-being, where Sukhayu is personal well-being. So yes, before doing Hitayu, you should be having good Sukhayu. You should be personally well. Then only you can contribute to the society as well. So yes, by practicing good deeds, also can get a health. By helping others, also can get a health. To quote, now you're doing all these things for the benefit of the society, and this gives you happiness, which makes your soul feel happy. Then yes, definitely you can be healthy. So yes, what you are doing is also right. So I really thank you for organizing and giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts.
Thank you, Dr. Sharad. Before I let you go, I have to ask you, out of all the work that you're doing, fantastic work of teaching your students and your patients, what is that one thing that you want to keep highlighting about Ayurveda or about your work that you do that could benefit others?
Overall, the Ayurveda lifestyle, there's a quote in Ayurveda called as Ayurveda Amrutanam. It means Ayurveda is the nectar. So if you use Ayurveda, then you can be healthy and you can lead more than 100 years of life. So yes, I want to keep speaking about the principles of Ayurveda, and if one follow Ayurveda, then he can achieve different pursuits of life like dharma, artha, kama, moksha, what we say. So one can gain even the money, one can gain fulfill all his desires with following Ayurveda, because whatever you want in life will come to you only when you are healthy. So if you are unhealthy, then there is no meaning for gaining anything. So first, health is the foremost priority one should have. And yes, throughout my life, I want to. We have this mission called "Reach Ayurveda to Each." So now, after British advent, people have started feeling inferior. So now we are into the process of making feel proud about Ayurveda, and this is the most scientific thing anybody can understand in the whole world. And yes, by following Ayurveda, you can attain everything you want in the life. This is what I want to highlight throughout my life.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sharad, for your valuable time. I'm sure my listeners have found so much value. Thank you for being on Actionables.
Thank you.
And that does it for another episode of the Actionables podcast. If you enjoyed it, let me know what your thoughts were. You can connect with Dr. Sharad and myself on the links mentioned below. Till next week, remember, your goals matter and it's really up to you to make them happen. Take good care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon.